remember at the end, we kind of summarized the story. We said this book describes, and I think we used Pedro's answer, and was it Jeremiah or Vershawn? You added on to his answer. See if you can remember that. So we started with this book describes, do you remember what you said, Pedro? This book describes the earth, and then we added on to that. Does anyone remember? Put a finger on your nose if you remember. Tatiana, help us out. This book describes what? You need to ask a friend for help?
No.
This book describes the earth. Who can add on to that? Tatiana, who do you want to call to help you out? Vershawn, stand up loud and proud. This book describes what it would
be like to be the, imagine to be the earth.
Do you know what I was going to do today? I was going to change what we had yesterday and try to see if we could use that new word, imagine. Vershawn just did it for us. Turn to Vershawn and say, thanks, partner.
Thanks, partner.
He just did all of our first work for us. So yesterday we said, this book describes what it would be like to be the earth. So today, before we got started, my challenge was going to be to add the word imagine in there. Do you remember what the word imagine means?
Uh-huh.
I see lots of hands. I see lots of hands. I need to hear from Juliet. Imagine means? Great job. Imagine means when you make a picture in your mind. Where's your mind at? Jeremiah, where's your mind at? Brilliant minds in there. We have to use them. So imagine means you're making a picture in your mind. So this book describes what it's like to imagine you are the earth. Repeat after me. This book describes what it would be like to imagine you are the earth.
You are the earth.
So today we're going to move from what this book means, the basic questions that make sure we understand the story, to why the author chose the words that she did and how that helps us understand. And that's going to be our next step in understanding the message of the story. First, I need someone to be the earth for me.
Me.
I want to see your best second grade smile. Alexios, come on up. That is a beautiful second grade smile. This is no longer Alexios. Say bye-bye, Alexios.
Bye-bye, Alexios.
This is now the earth. Say hello, earth.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You're much smaller than I imagined. So in our story, did you not know that your brother was the earth? You'll have to tell Mama. So in our story, they said lots of words about the earth doing this. Does anybody remember?
Turning around.
Turning was one. Spinning was another.
And
one of my favorite was where the feet were on the page and it talked about
dancing.
Dancing. So I want to talk about something. Before we even start, this is my friend the earth. And this is a person that lives on the earth. So I'm going to put this person on top of the earth's head because we are all people on the earth. Now earth, I want you to spin around so that your person does not fall off. Oh! Say bye-bye, earth.
Bye-bye, earth.
Yuritsa, come on up. I feel like you can really be a great earth for us today. No? Do you want to pick someone else?
Me.
Pick someone else. Urine. You know, when I thought of the earth this morning, I thought of you. Do you think you can do it? Okay, say hello, earth.
Hello, earth.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Earth, we need you to spin around and take care of the person on top of you. Okay? Go ahead. Stop. Turn to Urine and give him a wow.
Wow!
What was different? Why did the person stay on Urine's head but fell off Alexios' head?
Because
Oh, I don't like when you shout out at me. If you have an idea, stand up real quick. Hey. If you are a gentleman, sit down. That means boy.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
And if you're wearing white socks, sit down.
What? I'm not wearing
White
You're
socks.
wearing white socks?
White socks. If you have white socks, and if you have tennis shoes, sit down.
No, I don't.
Okay, Juliet, why did it work on urine? Okay, hands to yourself. Great observation. She says urine's hair is flat. Alexios has bumpy, curly hair. Rosalie, do you have anything to add? You agree with Juliet? Sure, Earth, you can add something. Why did it work for you?
It worked for me because I was moving slowly.
Turn to urine and say, ooh. Let's give our Earth a round of applause and let's talk about that. You may have a seat, Earth, thank you. Body check, your bomb's on the floor, crisscross, eyes are on me, thank you, thank you. Now we're ready. I kind of agree with both of you. So it matters what the surface is like. It also matters how slowly he was spinning. So we're going to look at some words like that that help us understand. Okay? That's for you, sir. You did a great job as the Earth. Alexios will keep practicing, okay? So let's get back into our story. We're not going to read it all again. We're going to look at some pages. Just a couple pages of it. Tomorrow, we're going to get into it a little deeper, and we're going to figure out the message of the story. Okay, body check one more time. Good readers. They're sitting tall. Their eyes are on me. They are ready to rock and roll. Ready to rock?
Ready to roll!
First thing I want to look at is the title here. Earth Dance. I noticed something right away before I even get to this book. On your bottom, sir. I noticed something about the word dance. Alex, what do you notice about the letters in dance? I notice. This is your last reminder to keep your hands to yourself. Thank you. You got it, kiddo. Look at the word earth and then look at the word dance. What do you notice? Are the letters straight? So you could say, I notice the letters aren't straight. Try that. He notices that the words are not straight. Were you going to say the same thing Pedro just said? Will you say it so we can all hear? I notice.
I noticed they're dancing.
He notices the letters are dancing. Wait a second. How can letters dance? They're on a page. What do you mean, Pedro?
Because they're moving all around.
They're moving all around. They're moving all around. Let's look at some more words in our story. Hold it, hold it. Let's look at some more words. This is one of my favorite pages. One of my favorite pages in the whole story. You are large and grand, and your voice is the proud roar of icebergs cracking. You keep looking this way. I'm going to put this under the doc cam so you can see the word cracking because, whoa, this author did something crazy.
I know it.
Do you see the word cracking? I'm going to point to it right here.
I know what's happening.
I think the author did that. Oh, you already have an idea. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have you two are partners. Your peanut butter, your jelly. Your peanut butter, your jelly. You two are partners. You two are partners. Peanut butter, jelly. You two, peanut butter, jelly. You two, Vershawn, peanut butter, Juliet, jelly. Per day, you're with Alexius. Your peanut butter, your jelly. Peanut butter, jelly. Okay? You're with me. I want you to turn to your partner. The jellies go first. I want you to... Oh, who did we just lose? Okay. Yuri, can you come around and be Pedro's partner? Awesome. Peanut butters are going to go first. Did I just say jellies go first? Let's switch. Peanut butters go first. Talk about why you think the author might do that. I think the author did this because...
I think the author did that because... I think the
Can you repeat it? So I I agree because I was going to say that too. 1, 2, 3. Eyes on me. Say good job, partner.
Good job. Good job, partner.
I heard some brilliant things because your minds are brilliant. The first one I heard was back here. And then I heard Yurin give an excellent example. Pedro said, that's what I was going to say. That's okay. I agree because I was going to say the same thing. Repeat it back. I didn't get over to this half of the room. So Tatiana, you can tell me what you said or what your partner said. I think the author does this because she says, I think the author does this because the icebergs are cracking and the word is cracking. So are you telling me that when we see a word like that, it helps us maybe understand what's happening? Let's look at some other words. There's another one on this page. Let's look at and see if we agree with that. Okay, let's come over to this page right here. Eyes on the screen. You are large and grand, and your voice is the proud roar of icebergs cracking, waterfalls tumbling. Does tumbling help you understand what's happening to the waterfalls, Israel? Look up at the word tumbling. What do you notice? I notice
that tumbling is not straight because it's tumbling.
It's tumbling. The word is doing the very thing it's describing. Waterfalls tumble down. The word tumbling is tumbling down the page. There's one more I want to look at and talk about the way the author chose to position the text on the page. Did you like this page? I love this page. Okay, I'm going to start over here, but I want you to pay attention when we get to this point, okay? Body check. Thank you. You spin around and also dance around the sun, bringing summer, bringing winter, when snowflakes touch and cover you, and people leave soft footprints on your snowy fields. Now I'm confused because if I'm just learning how to read, some of this makes it a little harder to read because we're used to the words starting on the left and going to the right. So why is he doing this, Silas?
So you could understand?
So you can understand what's happening in the story. Because does it make it a little more interesting? Do you maybe sometimes get tired of reading books where the words are like this, straight across, and this adds a new interesting element to a book? Do you like this? Thumbs up if you like the way the text is. It's okay if you don't. Israel, waiting for you. Kind of. It makes it kind of tricky, but it adds a little interesting. Excellent. Okay. Put the hands back in your lap. So we've talked about why the author did that with the text. I'm going to turn this off for a bit. Now I want to turn your eyes back up here. And I'm going to put, maybe you can tell what this is. I felt like I had to write the word because I didn't know if you'd be able to tell if I did. Emilianos, what is this?
The whale.
This is the what?
The whale.
The world. And what word were we using for the world? Earth. Everyone say Earth on 3?
Earth.
Well, I didn't even count to 3. 1, 2, 3.
Earth.
Now I want you to say it like a baby. 1, 2, 3. Say it like an old man. 1, 2, 3. Say it like a second grader. 1, 2, 3. Now we're talking. So the next part about what the author does that I want to talk about is the words the author uses to describe the earth. We're going to list them today. Silas, thank you. We're going to list them today. We're going to come back to this list tomorrow when we finish up. Okay? I want you to listen. When you hear a word that describes the earth, I want you to put hands on top of your head. So let's do a practice. The earth is round. What was my word?
Round.
Round. Round describes the earth. It tells me something about it. Okay? The earth is full of ice cream.
No.
Is the earth full of ice cream?
Oh.
That would be silly. That would be a wonderful earth. Is everybody awake? Israel, I'm going to have you move up here, sir. Can you come all the way up here and help me out with this part? Thank you. I just felt like you were too far away. And Jeremiah, can you scoot up a little bit too? All right, let's get into just a couple pages.
I think when it's snowing, I think the earth is eating ice cream.
Ooh, I love that. When it's snowing, the earth needs some ice cream. Have you ever had Dippin' Dots ice cream?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think the snow at my house looks like vanilla Dippin' Dots. Okay. Imagine you are dancing in space even larger than the moon. I'm going to write down larger than the moon. That's something that, for me, it describes the earth. It tells us a little about it. Larger than SpaghettiOs?
No.
Larger than, thank you, Pedro. Larger than the moon. Okay, now it's your turn to do the work. When I read and you hear something that describes the earth, hands go on top of your head. Okay? Let's do another body check and make sure that you're sitting on your bottom. We got the wiggles today, and that's okay because we're the earth, and the earth gets the wiggles, and we wiggle our shoulders, and that causes earthquakes and volcanoes. But right now, I need your brilliant minds up here with me. Silas, yours too, please. Spinning around. Thank you for being such good listeners. Keep that word in your head. Spinning around, you are round, wrapped in a quilt of bright colors. Blue flowing seas, dark green woods, and deserts of golden sand. Elizabeth, give me one. Dark green trees. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Say nice job, Elizabeth.
Nice job, Elizabeth.
So I'm just going to write trees. And up here we can write words or phrases. Who had another one from that page I just read? Israel.
The deserts are cold.
Thank you for being such a great listener. I didn't know if anyone would catch that one. Say nice job, Israel.
Nice job, Israel.
So I'm going to write golden deserts. Do you know that deserts is just one letter off of being the word dessert, which is one of my favorite words ever? Let's talk about another one. Need something from the back. Rosalie, I saw your hands on your head. Another word that describes the earth, and I think yours went up over here. Spinning around, you are round. Did you hear something? Two of them, right? So the earth is spinning around, and what was the other one, Alexios? And then we said, spinning around, you are round. Round describes the earth. It also tells us why it was difficult for you and you to keep the paper on your head, because you are not round. Your head is.
You're the water.
Oh, who was that? Someone's listening really good over here. Tatiana, did you hear what Israel just said? Share it so everyone can hear. Can you tell her again?
That you're the water. That you can be the water.
What did he say? Jeremiah, did you hear what they said? You can be the...
water.
How did they describe that? Blue, flowing...
Sea.
Good listening. Kiss your brains. Blue, flowing seas. Okay, we're going to do a couple more to complete our list, and then we're going to come back to this tomorrow. So just a couple more minutes. Did you have another one on that page?
When it's spinning, it's taking everything off and stays around.
It's taking everything around and spinning around. Thank you, Pedro. This is really interesting. It's taking even the states around. You are large and grand. Give me one word.
You are large and
Large. What was the other one, Jeremiah?
grand.
Grand. Those can mean kind of the same thing. But I'm so glad the author picked words like that instead of saying you are big. Rashawn, hands in your lap. Because if I was reading this book and I said, you are big, you are a circle, is it very interesting?
No.
So the author chooses some words that really draws us into that story. Makes us really interesting the way that the words go down. They describe what's happening. Mountains tremble and quake, and the words tremble and quake. Let's find a couple more. Oh, this first sentence. You are home to ants and lizards. I don't even need to read anymore because the author uses a really great word there. Did you catch it, Rashawn?
I didn't feel it.
Home. Now, I live in a home,
Me too.
and our homes are on the earth, and so the earth is,
Home.
yeah, it's home to everyone, right? What a big responsibility. Home. Wow. Okay, I remember when I read this, there was another, yeah, it's on that page. You are home to ants and lizards, fish and dragonflies, roses and redwoods. You are shelter for people who may never meet but share one thing. You are their home. The author uses the word home twice. That tells me it's important. When an author repeats words, it's usually important. But what's that other word that you caught in there? Tatiana. Shelter. Shelter is one of the most important things that we can have, and the earth is our
Shelter.
These words all sound like a pretty important job. Did you have another one?
Yeah, that you took their home, the fish and the dragon.
So all the animals, all of the people, all of the buses and trains and rivers, you're their home. You're their shelter. Is that a big job? That's a big job. So tomorrow, we're going to take this list. We're going to see if we have anything to add to it. And then we're going to talk about what these words tell us about how the author feels about Earth. And from there, we're going to figure out what the message of the story is. Because that goes back to our objective in DOL, figuring out the message of the story. And then guess what? I'm going to leave it up to your teacher, but I'm going to have an activity that you might be able to do where you get to choose if you are the sun, the stars, the ocean, or a tree, and write about that. And how important that job would be. Okay? I want you to pat your neighbor on the back and say, good job today.
Good job today.
I want you to pat yourself on the back and say, I am so smart.
I am so smart.
Is it okay if I come back tomorrow and we get in this book a little bit more?
Yeah.
All right, give me an oh yeah on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah. Miss Rollins, if you can come tomorrow.
I will ask Miss Rollins. Miss Rollins, can I come back tomorrow?